In September 1991, 8 people walked through an airlock in the Arizona desert, sealed the door behind them, and did not step back outside for 2 full years. They entered Biosphere 2, a sprawling, sealed glass and steel structure covering more than 3 acres, designed to be an entirely self-contained miniature world. Its own rainforest, ocean with a coral reef, desert, marshland, and farmland, all enclosed under glass, exchanging no air, water, or material with the outside world except sunlight and electricity. The goal was genuinely ambitious. Test whether humans could live indefinitely inside a fully sealed, self-sustaining artificial ecosystem, producing their own food, recycling their own water, and breathing air generated entirely by their own enclosed plants, research explicitly framed, at the time, as a step toward understanding what a future Mars colony or long-duration space habitat might require. The 8 scientists and researchers who sealed themselves inside became known as the Biosphere 2 crew. What happened over the following 2 years became one of the most closely watched and most contested experiments in the history of human isolation research, for reasons that turned out to be as much about human psychology as about ecology. Almost immediately, the sealed ecosystem began producing problems nobody had fully anticipated, despite years of careful planning beforehand. Oxygen levels inside the sealed structure began dropping steadily, eventually falling low enough that crew members reported symptoms resembling altitude sickness, difficulty concentrating, disrupted sleep, and general fatigue, similar in some respects to documented effects of oxygen deprivation studied in other extreme environments. The eventual explanation, discovered only after extensive investigation, involved unexpectedly high microbial activity in the structure's soil, consuming oxygen and producing carbon dioxide faster than the enclosed plants could offset it, an ecological interaction the original designers had not fully modeled. Food production also proved harder than planned. Crop yields from the enclosed farming area frequently fell short of projections, leaving the crew on a persistently calorie-restricted diet for much of the 2 years, turning the experiment, in practice, into a study of sustained mild hunger and nutritional stress layered directly on top of social isolation, an unplanned but genuinely significant additional variable. By the 18th month, oxygen levels had fallen so low that external administrators made the decision to pump supplemental oxygen into the sealed structure, a choice that technically broke the facility's complete isolation, and one that has been debated ever since regarding what it means for how strictly to interpret the experiment's later scientific findings. Perhaps the most widely discussed outcome of Biosphere 2, in the years since, has been the documented breakdown in group cohesion among the crew, a real-world, high-stakes illustration of exactly the group dynamics research we've covered in Antarctic and Mars simulation studies, playing out with genuine, lasting consequences. By several later accounts from crew members themselves, the 8-person team split into 2 distinct factions roughly partway through the 2-year mission, driven by disagreements over management decisions, interpersonal conflicts, and differing views on how strictly to maintain the experiment's isolation and self-sufficiency goals under mounting ecological pressure. Some crew members later described mealtimes and shared spaces becoming notably tense, with factions sometimes barely speaking directly to each other despite sharing every enclosed space for months at a stretch. This pattern echoes, in a far more extreme and sustained form, the third-quarter phenomenon and interpersonal friction documented in Antarctic winter over cruise and HIC's Mars simulations, except Biosphere 2's crew faced it for a full 2 years, with no possibility of separation, under the added, compounding strain of chronic caloric restriction and genuine uncertainty about the ecosystem's stability. External project management added further strain. According to multiple crew accounts, disagreements between the sealed crew and the outside management team over how to handle the oxygen crisis and other ecological problems reportedly grew heated enough that trust between the 2 groups was seriously damaged well before the 2 years concluded. Despite the documented ecological and interpersonal strain, all 8 crew members did complete the full 2-year mission, sealed inside the structure exactly as planned, emerging in September 1993, a genuine achievement regardless of how the experiment's broader scientific reception played out afterward. The scientific community's assessment of Biosphere 2's first mission was notably mixed. Critics, including some prominent scientists at the time, argued that the unplanned oxygen supplementation, persistent food shortages, and documented management conflicts undermine the experiment's core claim of demonstrating genuine self-sufficiency, and some described elements of the project's early scientific framing as overstated relative to what was actually achieved. At the same time, researchers studying isolation and confined habitat psychology have continued to treat Biosphere 2 as a genuinely valuable, if imperfect and uncontrolled, real-world data point, precisely because so few other experiments have ever attempted anything close to 2 full years of complete, voluntary sealed isolation with a civilian, non-military crew. Biosphere 2 itself was not abandoned after this. The facility later transitioned to different research purposes under the University of Arizona, continuing to operate today as a research and education center studying closed ecological systems and climate science, no longer used for extended human habitation experiments. Biosphere 2's first crewed mission stands, in hindsight, as one of the most complete natural demonstrations of a pattern this channel has now traced across cave explorers, Antarctic stations, submarines, and Mars analog domes. Isolation alone does not determine outcome. What compounds risk, again and again, is isolation stacked with additional unplanned stressors. In this case, genuine nutritional deprivation and unresolved ecological crisis, layered on top of confinement with the same small group for far longer than any comparable experiment before or since. The faction split among the crew offers a particularly stark, extended illustration of the third quarter phenomenon and groupthink risks documented more briefly elsewhere. Give a small, talented, carefully selected group enough time, enough unresolved external pressure and no possibility of separation, and even genuine professionals can end up barely speaking to each other by the end. Modern space agencies planning multi-year Mars mission study cases like Biosphere 2 alongside HIC's, Mars 500 and Antarctic research specifically because of this lesson. Technical life support challenges and interpersonal group dynamics are not separate problems to solve independently. Under sustained isolation, they compound each other directly, and any realistic future mission plan has to prepare for both simultaneously. 8 people walked through an airlock in 1991, sealed themselves into a miniature glass world, and 2 years later walked back out, having survived an oxygen crisis, chronic hunger, and each other. Whatever its scientific controversies, that much, at least, is not in dispute. If this story moved you, subscribe to Minds at the Edge. The human mind is full of stories like this one, and we uncover a new one every week.